a team of U.S. investigators working with special counsel Robert Mueller are poring over hundreds of newly uncovered payments totaling millions of dollars that have been sent to Russian officials and Russian nationals in the United States. Among them are transactions by former Ambassador Sergei Kislyak 10 days after the 2016 presidential election and a $150,000 cash withdrawal 5 days after the inauguration, BuzzFeed reports. The news outlet also reported that the Senate Intelligence Committee, which is also investigating the Russian campaign connection to the 2016 election, has also requested copies of the checks and related documents, most of which have been turned over the FBI by U.S. banks reporting suspicious activity or at the request of investigators. The suspicious transactions include a check for $120,000 to Sergei Kislyak, then the Russian ambassador to the U.S., who has since resigned that post, 10 days after the election of Donald Trump. Kislyak has come up during the investigation several times because of meetings he had with Attorney General Jeff Sessions, White House counsel, and Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, former NSA head, Michael Flynn, and even Trump himself, some under suspicious circumstances. U.S. investigators are also investigating why 5 days after Trump's inauguration someone attempted to take $150,000 cash from the embassy bank account. The embassy's bank blocked it and reported the attempt to the U.S. government because it was not the normal activity for that account. Embassy bankers also flagged to the U.S. government nearly 30 checks for a total of about $370,000 cashed by embassy employees. There is also suspicion concerning about $325,000 in checks sent by the Russian Cultural Center in Washington, D.C. that bankers flagged and notified the U.S. government about. Additionally, according to the report, the Russian embassy sent more than $2.4 million to a small home improvement company owned by a Russian immigrant between 2013 and 2017. Bankers told the Treasury they did not think those transactions were related to the election, reports BuzzFeed, but red flagged them because the businesses seemed too small to have carried out major work on the embassy and because the money was cashed quickly or wired to other accounts. The Treasury Department, in turn, passed all of the suspicious activity notices and copies of checks to the FBI in case they were relevant to their investigation. As noted by BuzzFeed, authorities appear to be digging into the entire Russian diplomatic corps operating in the U.S., with bank records dating back 10 years that show financial conduct flagged as suspicious. None of this proves anything by itself, yet, but in the hands of trained investigators they could emerge as part of a pattern or provide leads to other activities that are of even greater interest to the investigators. What is clear is that the investigators are following the longtime police and FBI motto to follow the money, to find out the truth about any situation. It also shows that Mueller and the Senate investigators are all working to pin down details that could be part of gaining a full picture of how the Russians interfered in the U.S. election and to what extent Trump and his campaign colluded with them.